Harmonies from the Hollow Hills. Nina was always drawn to music. The gentle notes from a piano, the robust sounds of a trumpet, or the soft melodies sung by the birds outside her window, each carried its own magic. But the most entrancing music Nina had ever heard was from her dreams, where a mysterious tune always echoed, beckoning her. One sunny day while exploring a trail, Nina stumbled upon a series of small hills. These weren't just ordinary hills, but rather hollow hills that echoed with the slightest sound. Intrigued, she tapped on one. To her amazement, it produced a melodious note, much like a drum. She started tapping on other hills, discovering that each hill produced a unique note. Realizing their potential, Nina decided to play the tune from her dreams. As her hands danced from one hill to another, the harmonies began to resonate, filling the air with the same enchanting music from her dreams. Suddenly, a soft mist enveloped the area, and when it cleared, Nina was no longer alone. Before her stood beings of light and air, their translucent forms shimmering. They were the spirits of the hollow hills, awakened by the familiar tune. "You have played the ancient song of our people," one spirit said. "It's a song of peace and unity. Few remember it, but those who do hold a special connection with the land." Nina, surprised and awed, replied, "It's the song from my dreams. I've always felt a connection to it but never knew its origin." The spirit smiled, "The song is a part of you, as it is a part of us. By playing it, you've strengthened the bond between our worlds." Nina felt a warmth in her heart. "How can I ensure that the song is not forgotten again?" she asked. "Teach it," the spirit responded. "Share its melody and its story. As long as it's remembered, the harmony between our worlds will remain." As the spirits began to fade, the hollow hills echoed with the song once more, sealing the bond between Nina and the magical beings. Nina returned to her world with a newfound purpose. She shared the song and its story with anyone willing to listen. And so, the harmonies from the hollow hills continued to resonate, bridging worlds and hearts together. Illuminations of the Ivory Isle. Lena had always been enchanted by stories. Tales of distant lands, magical creatures, and mysteries unsolved always drew her in. But one story stood out from the rest, the legend of the Ivory Isle. It was said that once every century, the island revealed itself, glowing with a radiant light visible from afar. This illumination would last for just one night and held a secret that many sought but few ever discovered. One evening, while strolling along the beach, Lena noticed a distant shimmer on the horizon. Could it be the fabled illumination of the Ivory Isle? Without a second thought, she hopped into her small boat and began to row towards the glow. As she approached, the island seemed to come alive. Exotic birds with feathers that shimmered in the moonlight circled overhead, while the trees seemed to sway in tune to a silent melody. The ground beneath her feet sparkled, as if millions of tiny stars had been embedded in the sand. In the heart of the island stood a grand, ancient temple, its walls carved with intricate patterns and symbols. Lena's curiosity led her inside, where she found a room bathed in a soft, golden light. In the center, a pedestal held a crystal orb, its glow illuminating the entire room. Drawn to it, Lena gently touched the orb. The moment she did, visions filled her mind, memories of people who had visited the island over the centuries, each one seeking the island's secret. She saw joy, sorrow, ambition, and hope. And then, a realization hit her. The true treasure of the Ivory Isle was not gold or jewels but the collective wisdom and experiences of all its visitors. As dawn approached, the illumination began to fade, and Lena knew it was time to leave. But she took with her the knowledge that true wealth wasn't material possessions but the stories, experiences, and wisdom we gather throughout our lives. Back on the mainland, Lena became a storyteller, sharing tales of her journey to the Ivory Isle and the profound lesson she had learned. Through her stories, the illuminations of the Ivory Isle continued to shine brightly, touching the hearts and minds of all who listened. The Luminous Labyrinth. In a realm untouched by time, where the skies whispered secrets and the winds carried tales from yonder, there existed a unique phenomenon known as the Luminous Labyrinth. It was a maze that glowed under the cloak of night, its paths lined with phosphorescent moss that shimmered in ethereal shades of blues, purples, and greens. Eris, an adventurous soul, had heard stories about the labyrinth since childhood. They spoke of its beauty, its enchanting glow, and the promise of a treasure that lay at its heart. However, there was a caveat: no one had ever returned after venturing into its glowing corridors. But Eris, with fire in her heart and dreams in her eyes, decided to unravel the mystery. On a moonless night, armed with just a satchel and her courage, she stepped into the glowing maze. The walls seemed to breathe, pulsating gently with light. Every turn she took led to another twist, another corridor, and yet another choice. Hours turned into days, or so it seemed, but Eris remained undeterred. One day, while resting beside a glowing wall, she noticed a pattern. The moss's brightness would dim and brighten in a rhythmic pattern. Intrigued, Eris started to follow the sequence, using the changing luminosity as her guide. It led her deeper and deeper into the maze until she reached a serene glade in the labyrinth's center. In the middle of this glade stood a magnificent tree, its leaves a brilliant shade of gold, and from its branches hung crystalline fruits. As Eris approached, the tree whispered, "To find your way out, you must first find yourself." Eris, puzzled, sat under the tree, contemplating its words. As the hours went by, she began to reflect on her life, her choices, her dreams, and her fears. She remembered the love she had left behind, the opportunities she had missed, and the joy she had experienced. The weight of her regrets, the hope for tomorrow, and the thrill of the present moment overwhelmed her. Suddenly, the tree's fruits began to glow brighter, each one projecting a memory from Eris's life. She saw her younger self laughing, her parents embracing her, her first heartbreak, and her moments of triumph. The luminous labyrinth wasn't just a maze, it was a reflection of one's soul. Tears streaming down her face, Eris reached out and plucked a fruit. As she took a bite, a rush of emotions and memories filled her, and she understood the tree's message. The true treasure was not an object but a journey of self-discovery and acceptance. With newfound clarity and the tree's guidance, Eris found her way out of the luminous labyrinth. She returned to her world, not with treasures of gold or jewels but with a heart full of understanding and love. From that day, she shared her story, teaching others that sometimes, the most challenging journeys lead to the most profound discoveries. And while the luminous labyrinth remained a mystery to many, its true magic lay in the enlightenment it offered to those brave enough to venture within. Drifting on the dandelion breeze. Amidst the realm of dreams, where reality blurred with imagination, there was a peculiar meadow. Here, giant dandelions towered over the landscape, their fluffy seeds as big as pillows. These were not ordinary dandelions, for they held the unique ability to capture one's dreams and let them drift in the wind. Young Mia had always been a vivid dreamer. Every night, her mind crafted tales of faraway lands, mythical creatures, and daring adventures. One evening, as she was drifting into slumber, she found herself in this very meadow. Surrounded by the titanic dandelions, she felt a pull towards them, a desire to share her dreams with the world. Approaching one of the dandelions, she whispered her dream into its seeds. To her astonishment, the seed detached itself, carrying her dream aloft, drifting on a gentle breeze. Entranced, Mia hopped on, and thus began her journey, riding on the dandelion breeze. As they floated, the seed unveiled the dream she had whispered. Beneath them, landscapes changed, unveiling deserts with golden sands, forests with trees touching the skies, and oceans shimmering under the moonlight. Creatures of lore danced below, mermaids sang, dragons soared, and unicorns pranced. Yet, as the journey continued, Mia noticed other dandelion seeds drifting alongside. These seeds carried the dreams of others, dreams of hope, love, fear, and longing. Some were vivid and colorful, while others were shadowy and vague. It was a mosaic of human emotions, desires, and stories. Floating alongside a particularly dark seed, Mia felt an urge to reach out. As she touched it, the dream unfurled, revealing a young boy's vision. He was lost in a storm, searching for a lighthouse, a beacon to guide him home. Sensing his distress, Mia whispered words of comfort and hope into the seed. The storm in the boy's dream began to calm, replaced by a radiant lighthouse piercing through the darkness. Realizing the power she wielded, Mia began interacting with other dreams, infusing them with positivity, courage, and love. She danced with dreams of joy, comforted dreams of sorrow, and battled nightmares, turning them into tales of triumph. As dawn approached in the real world, the dandelion seed began its descent. Gently placing Mia back in the meadow, it dissolved into a million tiny particles, merging with the universe of dreams. Awed by her journey, Mia felt a deep connection with every dreamer she had encountered. Awakening in her bed, the memories of her adventure fresh in her mind, Mia had a newfound appreciation for the power of dreams. They were not just figments of imagination but a reflection of one's deepest desires and fears. They held the potential to inspire, heal, and connect souls across dimensions. And so, every night, Emma eagerly awaited her return to the meadow, ready to embark on another adventure, drifting on the dandelion breeze, touching lives, one dream at a time.